Brussels bosses also sent a warning shot to Prime Minister Boris Johnson against leaving negotiations until the last minute in the hope the time pressure will force EU to make deeper compromises on a post-Brexit trade deal. BBC Europe editor Katja Adler tweeted, EU warns UK about leaving things till the last minute in autumn in hope the time pressure will force EU to make deeper compromises on trade deal. Brussels says if there's a second wave of COVID-19 infection in autumn then a trade deal with UK will hardly be an EU priority. It comes after the EU's chief EU negotiator Michel Barnier met ambassadors representing all EU countries today. Negotiations between the EU and Britain over new trade arrangements that are due to kick in once a transition period ends in December have reached an impasse with Britain pushing for a basic free trade agreement. Britain says that the EU is making demands it had not sought from other trading partners, such as an insistence on level playing field rules, including in areas such as taxation and state aid. Britain opposes measures that would require it to maintain rules similar to European standard. The EU's tortuous Brexit talks with Prime Minister Boris Johnson's government were renewed in late April, but quickly hit snags amid the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, which is spreading panic across the continent. More negotiations are due to take place next Monday and EU officials have said there is still time for London and Brussels to meet a deadline at the end of June to agree on extending negotiations beyond the end of the year. But Mr. Johnson has insisted he will not extend Britain's departure date. Ms. Adler added, political input will be necessary on EU and UK side in order to find compromise but #coronavirus means leaders have other pressing priorities. EU always says no deal will hurt UK most but Brussels will also want to avoid impact of no deal on EU businesses and reputation. It comes after Irish Foreign Minister Simon Coveney warned trade talks between Britain and the EU will hit a crisis point unless there is progress the coming weeks. He warned the EU side would not back down on its insistence that progress is made on fisheries and level playing field provisions in parallel to trade talks. Speaking after consulting with Mr. Barnier ahead of EU-British talks next Monday, Mr. Coveney told RTE Radio, "The truth is that progress has not been good. The necessary progress really isn't there. Unless there is significant progress in those negotiating rounds then I think we are going to reach yet another crisis point in the Brexit negotiations, which from the Irish point of view is very, very serious."